Everybody get cozy, it's cold out here. Block the wind for each other, get nice and snuggled up. We're all family here today. Get nice and close. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm so impressed that you're all out here. I know it's really cold. I hope you're all super bundled. Let's get a little bounce going on. I'll try not to fall down the stairs. Let's get ourselves moving. Throw that left fist up in the air and repeat after me. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle is hot. It's cold out here, but the struggle's on fire. It's cold out here, but the struggle's on fire. You all stop jumping. Awesome. My name is Molly, and I'm a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. We are so happy to see all you amazing people out here, braving the cold, ready to inaugurate a new platform of struggle together. Today, we fight back. If Trump gets an inauguration today, then we get ours too, as we prepare to fight back against his war on all of us. We're out here to show the ruling class that we refuse to sit by while the new right-wing administration relaunches their billionaire agenda, targeting the LGBTQ community, immigrants, women, in an effort to quell the entire working class. Today, we also celebrate a martyr in the struggle against oppression and raise our voices to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King was a civil rights activist and a socialist who taught us that to win, we must struggle. And we have plenty to struggle against: healthcare costs, endless proxy wars, a global pandemic, food insecurity, climate catastrophe, and on and on. Right here in beautiful Vermont, we've lost the illusion of immunity to the effects of a national pyramid scheme, a political monolith that prioritizes profits over people. Vermont has the 4th highest rate of homelessness in the US. We have some of the highest healthcare costs in the country. In the past 2 years, we've experienced multiple catastrophic flood events that destroyed lives and livelihoods, but no cohesive plan from our elected officials to mitigate an escalating pattern of disaster. The wind is not my friend today. Now, facing down a 4-year presidency that threatens to be the most damaging thus far, it's easy to despair, to lose hope, to wring our hands and wonder where to put our efforts when so many disasters strike all at once. But while those may all seem like separate atrocities, they all lead back to one root: capitalism. So it is imperative that we fight back for the next 4 years and beyond, because this Trump presidency didn't come out of nowhere. It's the symptom of a 2-party oligarchy that has characterized our country since its inception. The purpose of today's rally is to build bridges among Vermonters, grassroots organizations, and nonprofits. We must be ready on day 1 of the Trump presidency, ready to combat whatever he throws at the working class. And it's encouraging that so many folks showed out today in the cold. Thank you. We also have some fantastic endorsers here with us as well: 350 Vermont, Bread and Puppet Theater, Champlain College Students for Justice in Palestine, Cooperation Vermont, Food Not Bombs / Cops, Free Her Vermont, Green Mountain Democratic Socialists of America, Green Mountain Peace and Justice Party. Just wait, there's more. Mad Freedom Advocates, Middlebury College Students for Justice in Palestine, Migrant Justice, Party for Socialism and Liberation, that's us, People's Kitchen, Richmond Racial Equity Committee, Southern Vermont for Palestine, Upper Valley for Palestine, UVM Graduate Students United, UVM Students for Justice in Palestine, UVM Young Democratic Socialists of America, UVM Union of Students, Vermont Peace Anti-War Coalition, Vermont Racial Justice Alliance, Vermont Tempest Collective, Vermonters for Justice in Palestine, the Will Miller Social Justice Lecture Series, Vermont Workers Center, and the list goes on. It's a lot of endorsers. And we've gathered together today because we know our struggles are interconnected. And when we fight together, we win together. Yes. In a minute, we'll hear from some of the orgs I just mentioned, and we promise to keep speeches to a point so we can get moving and warm back up. And speaking of staying warm, please note that we have hand and foot warmers for distribution. I believe they're somewhere over there. So grab those if you need them. And the People's Kitchen and Food Not Bombs / Cops are currently preparing some hot food and drinks for when we return from our march. When you stop by their tent, please give them a huge thank you and a donation if you can. All right, let's get moving one more time. Shake it off. Shake all that cold off. When Black lives are under attack, what do we do? When Black lives are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? When women's autonomy is under attack, what do we do? When the working class is under attack, what do we do? Amazing, y'all. Love the energy. All right. Like I mentioned, we are ready for our fantastic speakers to tell us why they're here, what they're up to, and how we can get involved with their work. First up, we have an organization that builds and amplifies the voices of the migrant farm worker community and is a central community place for the Latina community, Migrant Justice. And I'd like to introduce Jose Ignacio de la Cruz.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Mi nombre es José Ignacio y soy parte de la comunidad migrante y líder de Justicia Migrante.
Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Jose Ignacio de la Cruz. I'm part of the migrant community and also a leader of Migrant Justice.
Pues hoy quiero expresar el temor y el miedo que siento yo y mi comunidad migrante.
Something that I want to express today is the fear and worry that my community is feeling and that I am feeling.
Pues como sabemos todos, hoy lunes 20 de enero está en la capital, Washington, D.C., está el presidente, pues está recibiendo su segundo mandato.
As we all know, today, January 20th, Monday, in Washington, D.C., the new president is starting his second term.
Y pues, con todo esto que está pasando, creo que ustedes han sabido muy bien que el presidente ha dicho en repetidas ocasiones que somos una prioridad en deportación.
And I think we're all aware with everything that's happening. We've heard the president say many times that one of his main priorities is deporting the immigrant community.
Y pues para mí esto es como un sueño, algo que no es creíble, porque hace 2 años atrás, en la pandemia, éramos personas esenciales, las personas que estaban trabajando durante la pandemia para sacar este estado y este país adelante.
And for me, this is like a bad dream. Thinking back 2 years ago, during the COVID pandemic, when we were being called essential workers, and our work was being recognized as supporting the economy in this country and this state.
Y pues esto, pues siento que ahora nosotros somos una moneda de cambio para todos los gobiernos que están jugando con todas nuestras personas y los seres humanos.
And now I feel like we're just players in this big game of the government who have our lives in the balance as playing pieces.
Sí, nuestra comunidad se siente con mucho miedo. No quieren salir a la tienda, ni quieren salir al hospital, y mucho menos quieren ir a un trabajo donde implique manejar. Creo que si sigue así, nuestra comunidad va a sufrir mucho y también las personas que están aquí porque no vamos a tener un plato de comida en nuestra mesa, no vamos a tener personas que construyan nuestras casas.
And our community is feeling a lot of fear. It's making us not want to go out, not want to go to the store, not wanting to go to the hospital, not wanting to drive to work. But the impact of this means that there's not going to be able to be food on the table. There's not going to be houses being constructed because we're the workers.
Es por eso que estamos aquí presentes el día de hoy para expresar todo nuestro sentir, lo que está pasando, y estamos pidiendo la solidaridad con todas nuestras organizaciones y pienso que también nosotros vamos a estar para todas las organizaciones que están defendiendo los derechos humanos y la naturaleza.
And so that's why we're here today expressing our feelings and what we're facing, calling for solidarity, and also that we're here for other groups. We're here for other communities that are defending their human rights that are under attack.
Justicia Migrante tiene más de 12 años en función y ha tenido muchos cambios en nuestra comunidad y vamos a estar muy unidos y defendiendo cada derecho y cada ley que hemos ganado.
Migrant justice has been organizing for more than 12 years now, and we've made so much change, we've had many wins, and so now is the time to defend all the work that we've been doing.
Pues sí, les doy las gracias por escucharnos y pues que todos vamos a estar muy unidos. ¿Se puede o no se puede?
And so I thank you for being here today, for listening, for standing with us, and this is the unity that we need. ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede?
¿Se puede o no se puede?
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede.
Sí se puede.
Thank you so much, Jose, for your words and for your work. Our next speaker is from Free Her, a group of abolitionists at the forefront of decarcerating, decriminalizing, and closing women's prisons here in Vermont. Give it up for Jana Asaf.
Beloved neighbors, we stand here powerfully gathered in community to not only challenge Trump and the billionaire agenda, but to also honor our collective power, our collective rage, grief, fire, determination, and all the emotions in between. Do not lose hope because the billionaires have won the election. We hold the true power, relationships, and tools, and that can never be taken away from us. Yes. We will fight back and win. That's right. Our divine rage has begun to transcend into revolution, and you can feel the magic of that reality palpable around us today. I am also honored to be here to uplift my dear comrades on the inside who have become invisibilized by the prison system and share a crucial reminder that we are them and they are us. And as we blaze ahead and strategize how to navigate this administration, we must not forget about our incarcerated neighbors, but instead become inspired by the endless possibilities that will result from centering the most vulnerable among us in our solutions. I want to share another stark reminder that Vermont is already fighting back against state repression in the form of prisons. The state plans to build 4 new prisons, starting with a replacement women's prison, which has a steadily increasing price tag and is currently estimated to cost a jaw-dropping $97 million. And this is just to incarcerate a little over 120 people. We are witnessing the increased proliferation of prisons not only in Vermont, but across the country, With 40 states currently planning or in the construction phase, we know the government only plans to answer our calls for freedom with more violence and containment, and that must influence how we move forward. Project 2025, spearheaded by Trump and his allies, aims to reshape the federal government with a conservative agenda that will result in significant implications for incarcerated people and targeted communities. The project includes plans to escalate aggressive policing and expand tough on crime practices, which will result in the skyrocketing of incarceration rates, expanded use of the death penalty, a return to draconian sentences, and the emergence of even more racist and brutal policies, which could very well send us into an even more explosive wave of mass incarceration. Prisons' function as a tool of oppression will become even more pronounced under Trump, and we cannot allow the state to increase its capacity to target historically oppressed groups and dissenters. The expansiveness of this system has already created a lucrative industry out of the surveillance, deportation, policing, incarceration, and destruction of our communities. To dismantle it, we must address interconnected systems of violence, so please do not forget about the urgent need to fight back against these new prisons as you consider how to move forward. Empires thrive on keeping us isolated, so let's defy this divide, and as the empire's tactics are widespread and all-encompassing, ours also must be. So I challenge you all to ask yourself the question, what will you do next? How will you fight back? The movement and groups here today welcome you with open arms. No matter your level of experience or skills, there's always a place for you and we need you. Our interconnected efforts will form a powerful tapestry of resistance, and our strength lies in our resilience, our adaptability, and our unwavering commitment to freedom. Together, we can dismantle the machinery of repression. And remember, our power will transcend the billionaires' agenda, and our collective liberation awaits. No new prisons, no new jails. People's lives are not for sale. Prisons, no new jails. People's lives are not for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. That was amazing. All right, so, sorry, we changed the order. Our next speaker is from wait, no, we just did that one, sorry. Next up, we have the Tempest Collective, an educational group, magazine, and publication seeking to build revolutionary socialist consciousness in the U.S. Let's hear it for Helen Scott.
So good to be here with you today in this freezing day, this freezing Martin Luther King Day. Thank you all for being here. Let's face it, we're living in grim times. For 15 months, we watched the world's first live-streamed genocide. And we watched in horror as our government rewarded the perpetrators and criminalized those who are standing up against wars against humanity. Now we face, as Jana said, the billionaires, the billionaire bigots coming into power, and we know their playbook. We know that they want to deport migrants, they want to build more prisons, they want to pull back rights from trans people, they want to roll back reproductive rights. They want to dismantle our unions. They want to control what gets taught in our schools. They want to crack down on free speech and academic freedom in our universities. They want to take away all of our democratic rights. Shame. And we know that the Democrats have not been and will not be defenders against this agenda. So it's a grim, grim moment, but there are two main reasons why we should not give in to despair. And the first is that Trump does not have a popular mandate. Barely 30% of the electorate voted for him. His agenda is deeply unpopular with the majority of people in this country and across the world. And so the second reason related to that is that people will resist. There is no doubt people's lives will be desperately decimated by this agenda, and people will fight back. So our watchword in this moment is solidarity. We stand with people when they fight back. We defend people when they're in the line of attack. We stick together. And in the face of Trump's divide and rule, we come back with unite and fight. Solidarity forever.
All right, everyone. We've got one last speaker before we get moving in our march. So our last speaker is from the Champlain Valley Democratic Socialists of America, a political organizing group who've been fighting for years for working class empowerment. Let's give it up for Nikki Brown.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Nikki. I'm one of the co-chairs of our local Democratic Socialists of America chapter. Like many have said today, we're here to protest the inauguration of Donald Trump as our president against a larger wave of incoming fascism. We are here to mourn. We're here to prepare for the attacks on our rights, but perhaps more importantly, we're here to ask what we can do to fight back. Ask ourselves, if we were in a different position, if Kamala Harris won instead, would we still feel the need to be out here in the streets? Well, I remember not too long ago when Joe Biden was our president, we still needed to. We were in the streets protesting the will of our government who did not listen to its people. I remember marching after October 7th and understanding that both sides of the political establishment wanted nothing to do with Palestinian liberation. Yet, still, we are organizing, we are marching, we are educating, and we will continue to do so until we see liberation. Let's get something clear. Trump will not take people out of poverty. He will not make the cost of living anything else other than a continuation of the status quo. We have to understand that both Republicans and Democrats want to make empty promises on policies that might actually make our lives better. Neither party wants to provide health care for everyone and tried housing as a human right, making sure everyone has enough to eat. And neither party is interested in ensuring people receive a good education. Both parties desperately want the support of organized labor. They want the support of working people. Yet, when it comes down to helping out workers, neither party is willing to show up to picket lines or to pass legislation making it easier to strike or form a union. Our two prominent political parties are willing to lead us with empty promises until the earth is no longer inhabitable due to unfettered extraction industry that capitalism has produced. We aren't just here today to protest the inauguration of Donald Trump. We're here today because we're angry that our political institutions are offering nothing for people to improve their lives. And that some of us some of them would have the audacity to blame the most marginalized groups of people for a political loss. This last election, we saw the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate unified around mass deportations, the complete abandonment of trans rights and trans health care in the U.S. We saw how shallow the Democrats' relationships to workers are, and how almost non-existent the relationship the Republican Party has to any real working class issues. I've seen many discussions try to explain the loss and the victory of Donald Trump. Sadly, most of the discussion is not pointing out those who had the most power to actually turn the election into a victory, the Democrats or the Democratic candidate. Instead, we saw pushback on identity politics for the wrong reasons. We saw a lack of real understanding for how a campaign that promised no real change to average people could somehow fall on its face. We also saw a massive shift of American voters swing conservative. We saw this even before the election, with the Democrats trying desperately to capture those same people without even trying to propose an alternative. I ask myself if I can really blame some people who voted for Trump. Besides their base, there are those who ultimately had no interest in the policies that either candidate was putting forwards. And what they chose in the end was somebody who, while shallowly, wanted to change something in the government. The fact of the matter is the majority of Americans want drastic changes in our government, and only one party is particularly interested in doing anything of the sort, even if we understand that to be corrosive to our democracy on its face. Not everyone has the education or the practice to read that. No, understand this. In order to bring out change in the world that benefits everybody, we must be able to reach those who normally might not consider us on the same side, because we understand that the majority of people in the world are on the same side. Our material interests all align with one another's, primarily against the capital class's interests. It's our mission to get out, to organize, to talk with folks, and more importantly, to educate people on these topics so we do not keep making the same mistakes, so that people do not have to unnecessarily suffer. I want to ask everyone here today something. What really brought us here? Are we standing out in the cold because of how upset we are at a single man? Or are we desperately looking for alternatives? A way to change the future that in the moment seems so concrete. I believe that every day, every second, we have the opportunity to learn from what has been tried, from the movements that have come before us, and to organize for real change. It might seem daunting to the people who know that a Trump presidency means a threat to your life. We can so quickly fall into despair. But I know that every day under capitalism, I'm forced to reckon with this very question. The capitalist classes want us to think that our labor is worthless as they deem, and that the skills we possess, they can choose what is considered valuable. We are educated and raised to think that our skills are something we hone in and eventually practice for the rest of our lives, yet something that's unique to all of us, and at the same time replaceable. Something that can be bought and sold like a commodity. But I'm here to remind us that they've made a great mistake in this undertaking. There is something true to this way of thinking. In all of us, we possess skills, talents, experiences that have taught us the ways to navigate the reality of not owning all facets of your life, not owning all the time in your day, not owning your own labor. Today, we're faced with the question, how can I fight against fascism? How can I fight against the Trump regime? How can I make a difference in the world? How can I put an end to the repeating cycle of oppression? Fortunately for us, our rulers have been grooming us to become individual actors in a larger game. And today we can say to ourselves with confidence that I no longer need to play the game on their side. Today we can take things we've been taught and put them to good use. People are always concerned with the start of the revolution People are always concerned when the revolution will start. And to that I say, the revolution has already been going. We have been beaten into submission over and over, but we will never give up. I ask everyone here to think long and hard about who you are, what you do, and more importantly, the change that you see needs to happen. Today, we all have the opportunity to start new, to do something about this. We spend the majority of our time selling our labor to someone else for a fraction of what it's truly worth. And we'll take back that time by investing in organizing around common cause. I call on everyone here to look and find your talent, to join in community. Join any of the organizations here. Talk with your neighbors. Organize your community. Organize your workplace. If you have a union, reform it. Understand the privilege you might have and use it to fight for those who don't have the fortune to have the same. We share our food in times of hardship. We share our warmth when we're cold. Today we are cold, and today is okay to feel empty. But we cannot be cold forever, or we'll perish. There's warmth inside all of us to see the exploitation around us end once and for all. That we may destroy the institutions and structures that have long oppressed us and replace them with the power of the people. You may have heard this before. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. Today, we must let our voices roar. Today, it's a flame. Today, we must let our voices roar. Tomorrow, its flame may recess, but we know that the warmth will never wither. We'll struggle until all forms of oppression are gone. I want to remind us of one more thing. I want to have a little chant so that our voices may be heard, so that we can get warm. No matter who you are or what you're going through, we are all in this together. Our struggles intersect, every single one of us affected, and so we shall fight for every single one of us.
Right.
Say this with me and chant. One struggle, one fight. Workers of the world, unite. One struggle, one fight. Workers of the world, unite. Thank you, and solidarity forever.
Thanks so much, Nikki. Okay, we're going to get going in just a couple of minutes. We have one really quick, urgent request for support from migrant justice. So let's give it up for Will.
Hello, my name is Will Lambeck. I'm with Migrant Justice, and I'm here to share an emergency call to action from our partners at Central Vermont Refugee Action Network. There's a asylum seeker from Uganda named Stephen Tendo, who has been fighting for his case and against deportation for many years. He was the victim of severe torture in Uganda and abuse while in ICE detention in the United States. He had a high-profile case denouncing that mistreatment and was supported by Amnesty International. He just received a letter that he is to report to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office in St. Albans tomorrow at 10 a.m. We don't know the exact reason for this, but it's certainly possible that ICE may be moving to detain and deport Stephen. His legal team has asked for folks to rally in his support outside the ICE office while he goes into his appointment. We know that they have used these appointments to detain people in the past. And so Stephen and his team are asking folks to be at ICE tomorrow, Tuesday, 10 a.m. at 64 Gricebrook Road in St. Albans. Again, that's tomorrow, 10 a.m., 64 Gricebrook Road in St. Albans. This is all happening very quickly. I don't know yet if there's any information on socials about this yet, but keep your eyes out, and please, if you're able to go tomorrow, to support Stephen Tendo, an asylum seeker from Uganda, against possible detention. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, are we fired up? When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. When I say stronger, you say together. Stronger. Together. Stronger. Together. When I say workers, you say unite. Workers. Unite. Workers. Unite. All right, y'all, we're going to get going in just a second. I know everyone's cold, so we're going to get moving. Just a couple of really quick announcements. We have marshals available to help direct traffic today and to diffuse any confrontations. Please allow them to do what they need to do, and please do not talk to police or instigators. If you need their support, marshals can be identified by their yellow vests, and there will be at least one marshal stationed at the back of the march to ensure that we stay together. If at any point you need to stop or leave the march early, please look for one of the marshals for assistance. When our march is finished, we'll reconvene back here to warm up with hot food and drinks and to listen to a few more speakers. Free Her, Migrant Justice, Students for Justice in Palestine, and the Party for Socialism and Liberation will be tabling. So be sure to peruse their materials and talk with folks. We have so many wonderful groups doing great work here in Vermont. All right, and that's it. So we're gonna follow.
Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? People.
That kind of deal. It's kind of like you walk with and then yeah. So it's like you kind of like sprint up to the intersection, stay there while they cross, sprint up to the next one. We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. 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 Why are we standing still? Let's go!
walk to the other end. Walk back.
Stand up, fight back! Are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Trans rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Trans rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
All right,
Refugees are welcome here! No hate! No fear! Refugees are welcome here! No hate! No fear! Refugees are welcome here! No fear! Refugees are welcome here! We'll never be defeated! The people united! We'll never be defeated! The people united! We'll never be defeated! We've got the power! We've got the power! What kind of power? People power! Who's got the power? We've got the power! What kind of power? People power! Who's got the power? We've got the power! What kind of power? People power! Who's got the power? We've got the power! What kind of power? People power! Who's got the power? We got the power! What kind of power? People power! No justice! No peace! No ICE!
For police, no justice!
No peace! No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No ICE and no police! No justice! No peace! No ICE or 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 police!
No justice! No peace!
No ICE or police!
No justice!
No peace!
No ICE or police! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
No ICE or police!
No justice! No peace!
No ICE or police!
No justice!
No peace! No ICE or police!
No justice!
No ICE or police! What do we do when our rights are under attack? When our workers are on strike, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! No, we join the picket run solidarity and get together with our striking workers.
That too.
Fight back the workers on strike. What do we do when our LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters are under attack? Stand up, fight back! What do we do when our migrant brothers and sisters are under threat? Stand up, fight back! What do we do when there's still money going towards bombs and militarism and systematic genocide of the indigenous Palestinians? Stand up, fight back!
How's everybody feeling? Are we all fired up? I can't hear you. Are we fired up? I don't know, but I've been told the people here are mighty bold. There's one thing that's clear to me. The working class has unity. Lies and threats will not divide. The people standing side by side. Awesome, y'all. Nice Nice work. For a brief moment, I considered changing the lyric to "the people here are mighty cold" instead of bold, but hopefully that's not the case. As I mentioned before, we have a few more speakers ready to tell you about why they're joining the fight against Trump's billionaire agenda. Please visit our warming areas. They were going to be a little bit more closed in, but I think for now we have our hand and foot warmers still ready over there. We do have some space heaters if anyone needs to cozy up to one. And please grab some refreshments from Food Not Bombs/Cops in the People's Kitchen, and don't forget to donate if you can. The wind is picking up. All right, now we're going to hear from Students for Justice in Palestine, a leading force in Vermont's struggle for Palestine. So let's hear it for SJP.
We stand here today at a critical moment in history. After 15 months of the gruesome U.S. and Israeli-backed genocide in Gaza, a ceasefire was officially declared yesterday. This moment brings profound relief and joy. A chance for Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, and across the diaspora to breathe, embrace hope, and reclaim love in the face of unimaginable loss. Us Palestinians are celebrating this long-awaited victory because for 15 months, we have watched our people be slaughtered in the most gruesome ways. But let me be clear, October 7th was not the beginning of this genocide, and unfortunately, January 19th has not marked its end. The genocide has been happening since the Nakba in 1948, and October 7th was merely marked the escalation of the worst extermination campaign Israel has ever launched. Since the ceasefire was announced, one quote has stayed with me. Mahmoud Darwish once said, "The wars will end, and the leaders will shake hands, and that old woman will remain waiting for her martyred son, and that girl will wait for her beloved husband, and the children will wait for their heroic father. I do not know who sold the homeland, but I know who paid the price, and the people of Gaza have paid the price over and over and over again. But what is so powerful and so undeniable is that despite facing the most vicious crimes of Zionism, the people of Gaza have never chosen collaboration or capitulation. They have chosen resistance.
Yes.
They have resisted to honor the memories of each and every Palestinian, the exiled, the displaced, the imprisoned, and the martyred. It is our duty here and now to honor their sacrifices by carrying this struggle forward. From Palestine to Turtle Island, the fight against colonialism and imperialism is one and the same. Today, we reject and resist the fascism of Donald Trump and every U.S. administration complicit in Israel's crimes. The genocide in Gaza was backed and funded by the U.S., while millions of people here struggle to afford health care, housing, and basic human dignity. Instead of investing in the lives of people here, the government chose to bankroll and attempt to erase my people from Earth. Let this serve as a reminder. Liberation will not be won through normalization, collaboration, or pleading with those in power. The people of Palestine have taught us that we win through resistance, organization, and building power within our communities. Our fight is far from over. A ceasefire is not the end. It was only and always the bare minimum. This new presidency is not the beginning of defeat, but the beginning of a united front against fascism. We fight for complete liberation of Palestine and for justice everywhere. Now is the time to join this struggle in every way you can. Join us in Students for Justice in Palestine at UVM, Champlain, Middlebury, and beyond.
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine!
We are not alone. We are not alone. From student movements to coalitions, we are building the strongest united front in history, and we will never allow our institutions in the empire to return to the status quo. The people of Palestine have shown the world that all empires crack under the pressure of resistance. When we unite, when we organize, no regime can achieve its oppressive goal, not America and not the Zionist entity. Our liberation is intertwined. From Burlington to Palestine, we fight as one. Together we will resist, organize, mobilize, and win. This is not the end, it is only the beginning. Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Amazing, thank you so much. Let's hear it up for SJP. All right, we just have a couple more speakers here. Next up, we have Mad Pride, an advocacy group from the neurodiversity movement, decolonizing and dismantling our carceral mental health system. Let's give it up for Naila Rovinsky.
Hi everyone, my name is Naila Rovinsky, and I'm here with Mad Freedom Advocates. I am so grateful for the opportunity to speak today about the dangers that this far-right billionaire agenda poses to mad folks. Together, we can resist this agenda through solidarity, community care, and collective action. Mad Freedom Advocates is a grassroots organization led by and for psychiatric survivors, mad folks, and others marginalized by Satanism and the mental health system. We fight for equal rights, better services, and an end to discrimination, oppression, and coercion targeting those labeled mentally ill. This fight is personal. At 16, I experienced trauma and hardship that led to struggles with my mental health. Rather than being met with curiosity around what was happening for me, I was labeled broken, in need of being fixed, and was sent to an involuntary facility. For the next 2 years, 2 months, and 4 days of abusive institutionalization, I endured improper restraints, forced medication, isolation, conversion therapy, and other abuses masquerading as care. Like so many, I was punished for reacting to unbearable circumstances. Everyone here has the capacity to be overwhelmed by what we face in life. Every one of us has the capacity to be labeled with a mental illness and experience discrimination and marginalization as a result. Many of us here can connect with how dangerous it is to be defined by a single narrow narrative that keeps us from reaching our potential. How dangerous it is to believe we are broken, defective, or less capable for the struggles we face or the identities we hold. The MAD movement is inseparable from the work each of you is doing. The demand for our human dignity is one and the same. As the famous Japanese filmographer Akira Kurosawa once said, "In a mad world, only the mad are sane." What society frames as illness is often a sane response to an insane world. Yet the far-right narrative weaponizes these labels to profit off of our oppression, while denying us autonomy, dignity, and choice. Jim Gottstein, the founder of Psych Rights, highlights that 90% of people in psychiatric treatment right now do not meet the criteria for forced care. Stripped of rights based on biased definitions of wellness and safety, definitions that disproportionately harmed the marginalized. If the problem is within the people, the administration has no responsibility or obligation to meet our most basic needs. The billionaire agenda feeds off of this dehumanization. As Charles Davenport, the eugenicist in 1911 said, "The mad people were useless eaters." This ideology isn't confined to the past. Last year, Trump claimed without evidence that South American countries were sending people from their insane asylums to the US. Just last month, he announced plans to end transgender lunacy on day one and has repeatedly claimed that women and political opponents are crazy. These narratives paint difference as danger and justify violence, coercion, and control. History has shown us how quickly those in power weaponize mental health labels to strip rights and control resistance. In the 1800s, drapetomania was a diagnosis created to frame resistance of enslaved black people fleeing captivity as mental illness. Homosexuality was a mental disorder in the DSM until 1973. The diagnosis of hysteria, often used against women for wanting a divorce, wasn't removed until 1980. And it wasn't until 2013 that gender identity disorder, which defined being transgender as a mental disorder, was finally removed. The only way to stop this is together. Solidarity across movements, as I'm seeing here today and I'm so grateful for, is not just our best hope, but our only hope. They want us isolated, afraid, and divided, but we are here as proof that their tactics will fail. Because in the face of oppression, we choose connection. In the face of fear, we choose courage. And in the face of this agenda, we choose each other. We must rally, organize, and protect one another, because our liberation is bound together. None of us are free until all of us are free. As mad folks, as workers, as marginalized people, we refuse to be silenced and we refuse to be broken. We will build a world where autonomy replaces control and humanity replaces profit. Thank you all for being here and for giving me this space.
Thank you so much. Okay, in a couple minutes, the incredible folks from Bread and Puppet Theater are going to take the stage to perform one of their pieces. But we have one more speaker first. Our last incredible speaker of the day is from the Party for Socialism and Liberation, a national socialist party fighting to build revolution amongst working class comrades with a chapter here in Vermont. Please make a warm welcome for Vivon. We need to clap longer.
That's National, Socialist Organization. They are outnumbered and they are terrified. And yet we have been outmatched time and time again. It has led us to develop an incredible thing, a stamina as exploited peoples. They have strangled the people around the world trying to build a better future, undercutting movements for working class power around the world, especially in Latin America, with coup, attempts, and sabotage. But still the people resisted, and sometimes won. They've been trying to eliminate Palestine for 100 years, and today Palestinians are dancing through the rubble of their hometowns, showing the rest of the world what it means to be steadfast. My unhoused comrades in Burlington wake up once a week to precipitated withdrawal, their blood burning from the inside, or their xylazine wounds freeze in negative-degree weather. And still, they find a way to survive and are criminalized for it. But the rich are smart and powerful with their tools. They bamboozle us by pointing at China or white poor people, and they break our movements by setting us into a panicked defense, where we beg for basic minimum dignities, elbow our fellow comrades to make space for our ideas, which would otherwise be lost in the darkness the ruling classes flooded us with. The Party for Socialism and Liberation calls our path that will defeat capitalism socialism. But we are equally happy to call it Intifada, La Lucha, Inquilab Zindabad, community action, uprising. We fight one fight, and we go forward today bringing our people into it, and every single battle contained within it. It's a president of billionaires, not of the people, who is leaving office today. A president who enacted a genocide, who redeployed Title 42 and brutally expelled migrant families, who oversaw the top 10 billionaires double their wealth over COVID while the working class fought for survival or died in the streets. And make no mistake, it's a president of billionaires, not of the people, who is coming into office. And he has declared a single plan called by 100 names. A war on terror, on migrant bodies, women's bodies, tranny enemies of the state. Trump will, as the stalwart ally of the billionaire class, declare war on the people of the world. A war on all of us. Here in Vermont, where we sport the second highest rate of second home ownership, the fifth highest rate of homelessness, where we evicted families with children into below freezing temperatures at the start of the winter, and by the middle have revoked every pending Section 8 voucher through BHA. Here in Vermont, in the hive of the Democrats, the gallbladder of the beast. Let that sink in. We are accustomed to the ruling class's blatant hypocrisy and veils of progressive rhetoric. So when we hear Trump say he's going to stop World War III, we point to Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, who want to spend more billions on the war machine with China and Iran and to resume Israel's genocide of Palestinians. When actual President-elect Elon Musk talks about failing government efficiency, we know that's an empty signifier for looting public resources and turning them into sources of profit for billionaires. Shout out to the Vermont Workers Center and the non-violent Medicaid Army, who took the fight to the State House a few days ago. The rest of the working class and the Workers Center know that the bodies that they're being used by debt speculators to see how much they can profit from all of us getting sick. Trump, the far right, and the Democrats aren't talking about any of the things that could actually solve our problems. We need universal health care to abolish the insurance companies. A job that pays living wage should be a constitutional right. There should be a nationwide freeze on rent and home prices. All student debt and medical debt should be abolished. We should seize the fossil fuel companies and use their wealth to create millions of jobs transitioning to clean energy. And there's only one way to accomplish that, and that's with a movement which is loyal only to the total liberation of all people. And ironically, the billionaires who shackled us have just given us the key. Because if you ask any group here, they will tell you how you can protect your neighbor from being expelled from their home at a traffic stop, or your child from losing their right to how their body works, or how to take the fight to the billionaires I've been so very critical of, instead of just waiting for them to strip our rights away. And that is to get organized. Getting organized helps us stay awake. When we get overwhelmed, we get tired. We waste time on incredulity over the latest crazy thing that Trump said. We shake our heads and we go to sleep. We sleep and pray for a better future, deaf to the screams of people who aren't able to close their eyes. In these times, despair is important, but we have to despair collectively. If you catch yourself despairing alone, remind yourself why we build and why we fight. We should welcome exhaustion, but exhaust proudly, burning bright and visibly. Welcome rage. Do not go gentle. If you're wasting your rage alone, it's like draining our lifeblood. Instead, brainstorm with our movements about how we can rage together in a pulse of glory that brings more people in. We outnumber them. When we get organized today, when you go back to those tables and pick up pamphlets, when you join one of the organizations that you've heard speak today, or one of the many that endorsed, then we outmatch them too. Oh, and by the way, the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Thank you, Vivon. Yes, check out our many organizations today, including the PSO, which is a nationwide socialist organization. Apologies for my former statement. Thank you all so much for braving the cold here today. Please go check out the organizations that are tabling, grab some materials, have some conversations about their work. This isn't just about making new connections, although that's nice. We must build bridges amongst ourselves to fight back against the next 4 years of oppression of the poor and working class in this country. All right, we've got Brett and Puppet who are going to come get set up here, and while they do, I'm just going to make one last quick announcement. You may have already gotten a flyer, but the Party for Socialism and Liberation here in Vermont is holding an organizing meeting this Sunday, the 26th, at 2 p.m. at Migrant Justice to discuss local strategy and how everyone can get involved. Please come talk to us at the PSL table if you have any questions, and we hope we can see you there. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Fiona, and I am a 15-year-old representative of humanity. 2025 marks the beginning of a year that will follow in a long succession of others that are burning. The planet is warming, and we have passed in 2024 the 1.5 degrees Celsius level set by the Paris Accords. This trajectory, we are on a trajectory for death. The world is dying. We see the fires in California, and I see the floods in my backyard, and I see my neighbors struggling. And this is not going to end. It's only going to worsen with Trump's administration. The EPA and other associations, government associations for preventing climate change, will be disbanded or significantly reduced. The world is dying, and I implore you, do something. We see the fire, we see the pain, and it will not end until each of us does our part in stopping climate change. With that, I give you Fire by Bread and Puppet. Thank you.
In our lives, we need 3 fires. The first fire is when we are cold. Cold. We pull up a chair, take off our socks, and warm our feet. The second fire is when we are hungry. Hungry. We pull up a pot, get some potatoes, carrots, and onions, whatever we've got, and we make a soup. The third fire is when we are desperate. We sit in the darkness, and who knows when it will be light again. When our neighbors are cold, we bring them the first fire. When our neighbors are hungry, we bring them the second fire. When our neighbors are desperate, we bring them the third fire. But then, death comes. transforms it into a bomb.
Bomb! 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 Bomb!
He goes to our neighbors. Hey-oh. He attacks them. Hey-oh. And he kills them. With whose money does he use?
Whose money?
In whose name does he act?
Whose name?
Who is he?
Who? Us, our money, our name.
Who is he?
Who?
Who is he?
Us.
Thank you. We'd now like to sing a song with you. You want to repeat after me? Leve, leve, leve Palestina.
Leve, leve Palestina.
Leve, leve, leve Palestina.
Leve, leve, leve Palestina.
Leve Palestina, O cruza Zionism.
Leve Palestina.
Cruza Zionism. Leve Palestina, O cruza Zionism.
Leve Palestina, O cruza Zionism.
And we will liberate our land
We will liberate our land
from imperialism.
from imperialism.
And we will build